Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Tech Gamers World. In this video, I'm going to unbox something really special for you. So while I was out and about, I came across a garage sale. And while looking around for vintage and retro stuff, I happened to look underneath one of the tables, and there was none other than a complete Nintendo Entertainment System action set. Now I was absolutely shocked when I saw this, and I knew I had to have it. So after talking to the owners, they managed to part ways with it, and it is now mine. So we're going to unbox it here and check it out. Stay tuned, click that like button, and subscribe to Tech Gamers World. We'll be right back. Let's do this. Okay, everyone, welcome back. So as I said in the introduction to this video, this is the Nintendo Entertainment System action set. I happened to pick this up at a garage sale that I just happened to visit. It was sitting underneath the table, and I was absolutely dumbfounded and was so excited. I knew I absolutely had to have it. But at the same time, I had to make sure that the sellers were asking a reasonable price. So they were initially asking $150 for this. It is used. It was their son's. They were the only owner. So I thought $150 was a pretty good deal. So after a little bit of discussion and haggling, I ended up walking away with the Nintendo Entertainment System action set for $125, which I thought was an amazing deal because I have seen these used and brand new go for hundreds of dollars online. So for $125, I thought I did pretty good. So let's check this out here. So here is the box that it came in. This Nintendo action set was first released in November of 1988, and it comes with the Nintendo console, the dual Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt game cartridge, 2 NES controllers, and 1 Zapper. This is the gray Zapper. So as you can see here on the box, we see the items that come inside. Now, something pretty cool about this box here, I'll try and show you up here. If you take a look here, this is the original sticker, and it was sold by Caldor, which was a store that was hugely popular in the 1980s and 1990s. You can see the original SKU number, and the original asking price was $109.99. Now, this is back in 1988, 1989. So think about that for a minute there. And you can see the inventory control tags and stuff like that on it still, which is really awesome. And that having this sticker really makes a nice feature on this box. Now, back to the box itself. Take a look at this box. It is in excellent quality. It still has the glossy finish from the colors and the paint and the graphics. There's no water damage whatsoever. You can see the box has been opened on this side, of course, because this is used. But you can see here, just take a look at how high quality everything is on it. And it is in really, seriously excellent condition because you have to assume the boxes were usually thrown away. In this case, the owners said that they kept it in a finished basement closet, which is why it has withstood the test of time and is not all faded, yellowed, has water damage. You know, the stuff you're used to when you see some of these boxes here. So that's pretty cool. I love the back on this box here. Shows the NES control deck, the controllers, the dual game, the Zapper, and then there's something pretty cool here. I know it's a little hard to see, but if you take a look at this picture of the 1980s, 1990 family playing the Nintendo Entertainment System, you see something that sticks out if you look close. Number one, take a look at the CRT monitor there. Mario is going backwards in the World 1-1. We all know World 1-1 You start on the far left and you move to the far right. In this case, Mario's definitely going backwards. But you can see it's definitely World 1-1 because it says it, and it is the standard level that we all know and love. And a couple other things here to take a look at. The Nintendo that they're playing is not even turned on, nor does it have any cables going to the CRT TV/monitor there. So that's a little bit of a oops on Nintendo's part. You think they would have put just a little bit more effort into their graphic there, because, you know, such wide-selling Nintendo console. But hey, it makes for a pretty cool discussion in the 2025 that we are now. So that's a pretty cool thing. I just happened to notice it when I was looking at it. I don't remember ever seeing that on any of the boxes I saw when I was a kid. So it was a nice little touch there. So let's go back to the product here. So let's go ahead and get this box opened up now and see how it's looking inside. Here, so I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to go ahead and raise up my camera here so that we can see a little better. Get it nice and positioned. All right, so let's go ahead here and move forward. So here we go. So let's go ahead here and open it up, and we'll see how good of condition this Nintendo Entertainment System Action Set actually is. Go ahead here and slide this over. Put the box off to the side here. All right, so here we are. So this is the Nintendo Entertainment System Action Set. So like I said, this is a used one. So there are a couple of things I'm expecting to see and not see in this particular package. The things I'm expecting to see are all of the hardware components there. That includes the NES console, the power cables, the connectivity to a TV or monitor, the Zapper gun, the controllers, the Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt game. Things I'm expecting not to see are instruction manuals, the original Nintendo Power advertisement posters, and stuff like that. Because unfortunately, with most of the used products you see for retro games, the original instruction manuals are long gone. You typically have to buy brand new to see those. And by brand new, I mean still in their original unwrapped, unsealed packaging. But that's okay. So let's go ahead here and start with the Nintendo Entertainment System console. Here, just got to go ahead and get it out. So here it is. This is in excellent looking condition. Things I look for when it comes to retro consoles are, of course, how clean are they? And by clean, I mean, is there any broken plastic? Is there any yellowing, fading of the colors, etc.? If you see a lot of yellowing or dirt on them, that's typically could be because the console was sitting in the sun, which the ultraviolet rays have faded the plastic. You see that a lot on the Super Nintendos, especially, I've noticed. And, of course, Game Boys and stuff like that, because typically, like, you know, with a Super Nintendo and Nintendo, the console was sitting on a shelf in a room in one spot for years. You had curtains open, so the sun was shining in. You had a smoker in the house. The cigarette smoke, the nicotine, all that stuff bakes into the plastic. So that tends to ruin it and give it that weathered look. But in this case, this one is super good looking and clean. Physically, let's see how everything looks on it. The power button pushes in, stays in. The reset button depresses, has that click, comes out, which is expected. We have the controller ports. All 7 of the pins are visible inside and not bent, so that is good. We have the door here. Opens, stays up, closes perfectly. I look to see that it's nicely aligned, which it is. Obviously, of course, we want to check that the cartridge slot depresses and stays down. That was a huge issue on Nintendo for a while. People were sticking stuff in the top here to hold them down, but this one works perfectly. Going around to the sides here, we see the component outputs here. We have video and audio, so connecting video and audio to the TV through those was an option. We have the RF switch, which was another way to send output to a TV. It essentially was a little gray box with a coax cable on it that could send the signal to TVs, and then you would put your TV on channel 3 or channel 4 with the selector here. And here is the power input. So things I look for with these ports to make sure that they're in solid, they're not loose. The dip switches, the channel 3, channel 4, the switches work. The power adapter plug is not loose, which it's not. Same thing on this side. You just want to make sure that they're in tight and not loose, because that could be an issue with the board. But it looks pretty good. And obviously there is nothing on the left side. Flipping down here, we see all the original stickers with the FCC ID, the Nintendo Entertainment System stickers with the copyright information showing the model number, the NES-001, and Nintendo Customer Service and Warranty Repair with the phone number to call. And then we still have the plastic cover on the never used expansion slot that did exist for the Nintendo Entertainment System. So that is awesome. Let's check and see that the game goes in and stays in. And then we'll talk about this a little bit here. So let's give that a shot. We're going to push it all the way in and stick it down. So it is in, and it's staying in and down. It was a little hard to push in, but that's not unexpected. And it's a little hard to pull out, too. I got to weasel it out there. I may have to take a look at that. It is pretty tight, but that's not an issue. So let's go ahead here and close that. We'll go ahead and put the Nintendo console back here. So let's talk here a little bit about the Super Mario Bros. Duck Hunt cartridge. So this was the first time Nintendo released a dual game on one cartridge. This featured Super Mario Bros. And Duck Hunt all on one cartridge, which was awesome because we all know in the 1980s and 1990s the memory limitation on systems was made things a little bit difficult. So the fact they had two games on one, which was pretty cool. This comes with the original cartridge protector / holder, and you know it's the original because it has the Nintendo design on it with the copyright. Same thing on the back. Future ones that came with games on the Nintendo typically did not include the red Nintendo on it. They actually removed that as a cost savings measure on most of them. So you would get hit or miss on when you bought games, depending on if they had them or not, till basically the inventory ran out, as was the rumor of the time. Or if you bought, obviously, third-party ones, they were just blank. But that's pretty cool. So we'll go ahead here and set that aside. So let's take a look next at the controllers. So here is the NES controller. It looks to be in excellent condition. This is one of the controllers. Typically what you'll see when you get a set of two controllers is one is more worn than the other because obviously somebody was using it more for player 1 than player 2. So we want to check here that the buttons all depress, don't get stuck. So A, B, start, select, up, down, left, right, all working nicely. Coloring looks good. No real scratches. There's some scratching on the back here. Not too bad though. So let's put that one aside here. Let's take a look at the other one. So this one is, like I said, is a little more worn and rough for around the edges here. You can see that, like I said, typically one of the controllers is always going to be a little more worn. So we have A, B, start, select, up, down, left, right. I can definitely feel a little bit of difference with this one. This one is definitely more worn than this one, and you can see the scratching and pitting on it. but that's okay. This is a used NES console, so I am not surprised here. So let's go ahead and put that back. We'll put this back, and just taking a look at the end of the cable here, we want to see that all 7 of the little slots there, the pin entrances, are there and available. You want to check that the cable is connected up nicely and is not loose. Same thing for the other one here. Always want to check both. These look all good. So let's go ahead here and put them back. And next, let's check out the world famous Zapper, also known as the light gun. Basically what this did was it sent pulses of light out of the gun, and that would register on a CRT TV. This is how you would play games like Duck Hunt on, and it was so cool. I used to have this when I was a kid too. I had the red one, actually. So taking a look here at this one, this is the gray version. Looking for the same thing, discoloring, broken plastic, pitting, etc. All looks pretty good and really clean. We can see inside that the little piece of glass plastic is in there, and all screws are present. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 screws, all there, looking good. Verifying that the cable is tight in the bottom, and of course we want to check that the trigger works and has that iconic sound we all know and love. It is working nicely there. So this is awesome. Checking again the same thing, because this uses the same proprietary connector to the NES. It's looking good, nice and tight. Now, here's a little tip and secret about Duck Hunt that some of you may not know. When you played Duck Hunt on the NES console, obviously, of course, you would use the light gun, but most players didn't ever realize that you could use the second controller, plug it into the second port on the NES, and you could control none other than the duck in Duck Hunt. It was in the instruction manual that, as we all know, by a lot of players, was seldom ever read. So that's a pretty cool little secret tip and trick there for Duck Hunt. You should try out sometime. So let's take a look here at the power adapter. So this does not look like it is an OEM power adapter. This looks like it's a third-party one. And I can see aftermarket one because it has 2 different types of connectors on it here. So we've got the little one here and the larger one. That definitely is not a NES power adapter, but we'll see if it actually works and the Nintendo turns on here. So we'll put that off to the side. And last but not least, we have the yellow and red component cable for the connection to a monitor or TV. Now, I did notice that this action set did not come with an RF switch, but that's okay because obviously in modern days, we don't use them anyway. What you need in today's time is to get a composite component cable to HDMI adapter to send the HDMI signal up to your TV. They sell them readily available all over the internet, and they're very inexpensive. So let's go ahead now and see if this NES actually powers on with this questionable third-party power adapter here. I'm going to have to go ahead and get a new one, a real one, and hope that this one here doesn't burn down my house. So let's see. This one, what's interesting about this one is it looks like it was never used because it was still in its perfectly wrapped state. You can see here by that. So let's go ahead here, get this plugged in, and get this connected up to the Nintendo. So obviously here, like I said, we're going to use the smaller one here, and it's plugged in. And let's see if it powers on, and it does. Now it's flashing because it knows there's no game in it. So let's go ahead now and put the game back in. push it in, push it down, close, and there we go. This Nintendo is working. So that is awesome. We've got a working Nintendo Entertainment System. From what I can tell, it looks like it's in excellent condition and is working because the game is in, the system is on. It is solid red, which is what I'd expect. I'm now going to go ahead and order an adapter for it so that I can test it on my TV and get this set up for permanent use. So I hope everyone enjoyed this video of our Nintendo Entertainment System action set that I picked up at a garage sale. If you could click that like button and subscribe to Tech Gamers World, I'm always going to have new and exciting content from the world of video games and technology dropping all the time. I would love for you to be part of my adventures. Thanks a lot, everybody, and I will see you around. Keep on gaming.